हरि ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुदेवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaste friends. Team Paramvedanta welcomes you all to session 12 of Drik Drushya Viveka. In our last session, we dealt with the belief of Vyavaharika Jiva, identity of Paramarthika Jiva. We saw Swamy Vidyaranya comparing Pratibhasika Jiva, Vyavaharika Jiva, and Paramarthika Jiva to bubble, wave, and water respectively and their attributes. We have now arrived at the final session of this great text. In today's session, we are going to study verses 45 and 46. Verse 45 discusses about what will happen to the three attributes Madhuryam, Dravam, and Shaityam when the bubble and wave dissolve. Sri Shivakumar ji will throw light on this aspect. Verse 46 extends this principle to the three Jivas and tell us about the journey of that Sat Chit Ananda and where they are heading to on resolutions of Jiva 2 and Jiva 3. Srimati Indumati ji will help us understand this. Our Guru, Dr. Hintimappa Hegde sir, will bring in the finer points to make our understanding more clear. Dr. Anupama will conduct a teaching quiz to enable us to clear our doubts, if any, and strengthens our understanding. Today's quiz will be in two parts. Now, I request Dr. Hegde sir to give us a brief introduction of today's proceedings. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Venkatesh ji, for a nice introduction. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Parintam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om. A very sincere gratefulness to all our acharyas for giving us an understanding of this great topic, Drik Drushya Viveka. Why do we study Drik Drushya Viveka? For that matter, any scriptural topic, why do we study? The question is it for scholarship that I have studied the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, the Brahma Sutra? I have completed all this. The teachers constantly remind us that scholarship be a byproduct. Why are we studying? We are studying to understand our true nature, and through understanding our true nature so that we are able to transform the way I look at myself, the way I look at the world, and thereby the impact of samsara should be reduced to almost zero. That is the objective of all these classes. The Drik Drushya Viveka, part 1 of it, concluded with a very powerful mantra from the Mundaka Upanishad. And the mantra goes like this. Vidyate hridaya granthi, chidyante sarva samshaya, kshiyante chasya karmani, tasmin drishte paravari. This is the objective of all our scriptural study. Our capital is, that means we all of us are born with the basic problem of Hridaya Granthi. Hridaya Granthi is a syndrome of 3 or 4 things. A syndrome means 3 or 4 things running together. The first is called avidya. The basic avidya is I am ignorant that I am already that. Moksha is not a goal to be achieved. It is not a siddha vastu. It is not a sadhyam. It is not a goal. Why? It is a siddha vastu. I am already that. But because of avarana shakti of Maya, because of the basic ignorance or avidya, I and all of us do not know we are already that. And when I do not know that, I have what is called a hridaya granthi, a knot in my heart. And that comes in the form of avidya kama karma. I have explained this many times because I do not know my true nature and I want to experience or be my true self, a desire comes in myself, can I be bigger than who I am? Because now I feel I am small because of my identification with my body-mind complex. So once this desire comes, then I have to act on it. That is called karma. And karma produces punya and papa, and that leads to punarjanma. So when spiritual awakening happens, that means when the teacher tells you the Mahavakya Tat Tvam Asi, and this is given when the student is ready for it. So once that teaching is given, that avidya disappears instantly. I know my true self. And then just like Hridaya Granthi is a chain, when there is the breakage of the Hridaya Granthi, many things fall down by themselves. Chidyante sarva samshayaha. Suddenly, there seems to be no doubts at all. I suddenly become so clear about myself that my whole purpose in life, my vision in life is now very clear. Kshiyanti chasya karmani. All the karmas suddenly disappear. What are all the karmas? My sanchita karma, the cloud data, suddenly becomes zero because jnanam has the ability to destroy it. My sanchita karma is gone. Once I know my true nature, there is no sense of doership. So there is no continuation of karma in the form of agami karma. And finally, prarabdha karma is there. Nobody can vitiate. But now prarabdha karma becomes mithya. When the body identification is not there, it is as if somebody is going through a disease, some mind is going through some problems. So that is what is there. Kshiyante cha asya karmani. Prarabdha karma is there, all the other karmas are gone away, but prarabdha karma is no longer a problem. Tasmin drishte paravare. This line has been explained differently. Tasmin drishte paravare. Now I have a new vision of myself as Atma. I am beyond cause and effect. That is one meaning. Second is to understand exactly what Sri Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita chapter 7, I think, 7.7. My sarvam idam protam sutre manigana eva. In that chapter, Bhagwan says, I pervade the whole universe in an invisible manner. That means I am all pervasive. And this all pervasiveness is something called immanent. The Atma Tattva is so fine, it pervades my body, it pervades the entire universe. So you see yourself as immanent, that means in and through everything. At the same time, you are transcendental. Transcendental means just like the light on my hand, the light falls on my hand, but the light is unaffected by anything of the hand. So too, Tasmin Drishte Paravare, transcendental means I am of a higher order of reality, and therefore anything in the lower order cannot affect me. And this is the meaning of this beautiful verse. So essentially, once my avidya is gone, I am free from all the karmas, and I have no mental doubts because now I know who I am. I am Atma Brahma. I am reminded of the Sri Dakshinamurti symbolism to be able to see yourself Swatma Ramam, to be able to revel on yourself. Dakshinamurti has this Chin Mudra symbolizing Jivatma Paramatma Aikyam. When there is no doubt about my true nature, I realize my true self, and my right leg is always on Apasmara. This knowledge is there for all time. I am not going to forget. Today being the last class of this, I have no words to describe. What a wonderful text it has been. How much it has helped us to understand our true nature and the way we see the world and the way we see ourselves. So, how do I see whatever I see? Now, I see the world around me. So, there is a world outside me. I see it with my eyes, which is seer number one. The seer number 1 reports to my mind, which is seer number 2. And my mind is empowered by Atma, which I cannot show in this picture because it is immanent and transcendental. But because of that, my mind is able to function. So that is the absolute seer or Atma. The same thing can be portrayed in another picture where we begin by identifying the Mahavakya, who I am Atma Brahma. And this Atma Brahma enlivens a particular body. Identify that I am Atma Brahma, that one common principle.
Hello.
It is like that one common principle which is all pervading. Now, it enlivens one particular body, and that one particular body through the mind, of course. So there is, I, as Atma, have enlivened my mind, and my mind enlivens my sense organs, and through my sense organs, I'm able to see the world. So whenever I see anything, the question is, am I seeing it through my mind, like we normally see? Because my mind has raga, dvesha, kama, krodha, ahankara, mamakara. What does it mean? Whenever I see something, I will see it, oh, is it useful, not useful? Is it mine or is it not mine? Is it something I like or I don't like? So this is the lower vision that I have. But if I identify myself as Atma, it is like God is seeing the world and God is seeing himself, the whole creation. Now, that is Drik Drushya Viveka. To be able to have that perspective of the same world, not as a jiva, not as a limited being who has a sense of limitation. This is mine, not mine. I like this, I don't like this, which is so childish and so limited. But Vedanta says, I am not this body. I am Atma Brahma. From that perspective, when I see the world, the whole world now reduces to a drama where we have to play our limited roles. Drik Drushya Viveka, like all Vedanta says, the whole problem or the whole wonder, this whole universe is because of Maya. And Maya has got two Shaktis. One is called the Avarana Shakti. Just like in a dream, I create the dream, but I do not know I am the creator of the dream. So too, I do not know I am the creator of the same universe. As Atma, as Ishvara, this whole world is, I am Srishti, Sthiti, Laya Karana. As Ishvara, I create this whole world. But that I am not aware because of that basic Hridaya Granthi or ignorance. And because of my own Maya Shakti, this whole world is there. And because of ignorance, I identify with this limited body mind complex. We have all studied the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. There, Sri Bhagwan has told us that this whole world is a manifestation of Ishvara itself. Ishvara or Sri Krishna manifests as the universe. That means when I look at a wall, when I look at a computer, when I look at any furniture, any object, any person, am I able to see Sri Krishna in that person, in that object, in that person, whether good or not? If I'm able to do that, then I have made that shift from Nama Rupa to seeing Sri Krishna. And that is the whole purpose of Drik Drushya Viveka. Antaro Drik Drushya Veda Bahis Brahma Sargayo. So internally, when I am seeing any object, I have to make the Drik Drushya Viveka, whether I'm seeing it through my mind or through the higher self or Atma. And when I see the world, am I seeing the world or am I seeing Vishwarupa Ishvara? Avranato apara shakti sa samsarasya karanam. So Vidyaranya.Swamy says that because of the avarana shakti of Maya, we have this whole problem. Now, if ignorance and wrong identification of the problem, the remedy is Vidyate Hridaya Granthi. I now know who I am Atma Brahma. And therefore, I have two components. One is the body-mind complex, which is only an instrument. So in every experience, Pratibodha Viditam Matam, in every experience, I see the world not as a limited body-mind complex, but as the Atma. So every experience should remind you of that Mahavakya, I am Atma, Brahma. So internally, who is seeing? You are seeing it not from the perspective of the mind, but from the perspective of the Atma. And when I see the world outside, I'm seeing none other than Ishvara. My, what is that? My sarvam idam protam sutre manigana eva. See Sri Krishna in and through this whole world. In this text itself, we have learnt Asti Bhati Priya Rupam Namachet Namchet Amsha Panchakam Adhyatraya Brahma Rupe Jagat Rupe Tatodvayam. That means in any object that I see, including myself, I have to see 5 components. Asti, it exists, existence. Bhati, it manifests, it is conscious. Priya, Priya here is Ananda or Anantatva. Everything in the world, including my body-mind complex, has got Sat Chit Ananta. Adhyatraya, the first 3 is Brahma Rupe, Jagat Rupe, Tatodvayam. So from Jagat Rupe, I have shifted to Adhyatraya. Additionally, the Drik Drushya Viveka helped us to understand my whole body-mind complex. That means in every time when I see the mind, so there has always been a question that when I see something, the mind is enlivened by reflected consciousness. What is the relationship of my mind with that reflected consciousness? What is this reflected consciousness? The original consciousness is Atma. When this Atma falls on my mind, a new entity is born that is called a reflected consciousness. Just like when I stand in front of the mirror, an image of mine is formed on that mirror. So there is the entity, the mirror, which represents my mind, and there is my image on the mirror, that is the reflected consciousness. The question often asked to students is, what is the relationship between the mind and the reflected consciousness? The answer is sahajam, because they go together. The image and the mirror go together. So the mind, the reflecting media, the reflected consciousness, and the mind, they are always together. They are sahajam. Whereas the mind and the body come together as long as prarabdha karma is there. The moment the mind separates, the body is no longer able to get the Atma Tattva to the body, and the body decays and dies. So according to Vedanta, what is death? When the Sukshma Sharira separates from the body. So the Sukshma Sharira separating or being together is as long as karma is there. It is called karmajam. What is the relationship of my mind with the original consciousness? With the original consciousness is of a higher order of reality, and this being Mithya is of a lower order of reality. There is no relationship whatsoever. Therefore, that is called Brantijam. In one verse, this has been nicely brought out in Drik Drushya Viveka. So in conclusion, what are we studied in Drik Drushya Viveka? We are a mixture of the lower me, body-mind complex, and the higher me, Sakshi. As body-mind complex, we have said it 100 times, and we know that there is no permanent solution to any problem. As Atma, there is no problem. We will do this quiz, which we have already done, in 2 phases. Because today we have only 2 speakers, and both Shiv Kumar and Induji will come somewhere in between the quiz. I will, after the first 15 minutes, we will take a break, have these 2 last presentations, and then continue with the revision quiz of Drik Drushya Viveka. Dr. Anupama, please.
Thank you, sir. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. We have understood very clearly from what we have heard just now that there are 3 driks starting from gross to subtle. Seer 1 is the sense organs, Seer 2 is the mind, and Seer 3 is the original consciousness or Sakshi. Next slide, please. So please choose the correct answer based on what we have just heard. Is the mind Chetana or Achetana Vastu?
The mind by itself is Achetana, becomes Chetana only when enlivened by Atma. So the answer should be the mind is Achetana.
That's right. The mind is born out of which of the three gunas of Maya, Sattva, Rajas, or Tamoguna?
One uniform method of remembering is all forms of jnanendra that give you knowledge are born from the sattva component of Maya. So the mind is born from the sattva component of Maya.
So when the reflected consciousness enters the mind, it illumines which of the three seers?
Seer number 2.
That's right. And this mind subsequently lends sentiency to which seer?
The seer, the sense organs. Seer number 3.
1. Seer 1.
I'm sorry. Okay, seer 1. So seer 3 is Paramarthika. So seer 1 is sense organ. Seer 2 is mind.
Gross to subtle. It's gross to subtle. With all three seers activated, the person is in which avastha? Jagrat, Swapna, or Shushupti?
What we are currently in Jagrat Avastha.
That's right. A viveka of these three seers is the cause of moksha, confusion, or samsara.
Samsara.
That's right.
As all these topics are important, I would suggest you go through it, please.
The mind per se is achetana till it's blessed with the reflected consciousness. The mind is born out of the sattva guna of Maya, we've just heard, because it's the knowing faculty. The reflected consciousness enters the mind and makes it sentient. Therefore, seer 2 becomes sentient. The mind lends sentiency to the sense organs, seer 3, and all that should be seer 1. There's a mistake. The mind lends sentiency to seer 1. That's an error. I'm sorry. With all three seers activated, the person is in Jagrat Avastha. Aviveka of the three seers is the cause of samsara. So, as we have just heard, at the time of death, which of the three seers quits the body? Is it 1, 2, or 3?
It is the mind which quits the body. Seer number 2 quits the body.
That's right. As you have said, it's like compared to the SIM card. Yeah. Okay. Next slide, please. Yeah. The relationship between the mind and the three seers, you can select from the box if needed. The mind with the body is?
The mind with the body is karmajam.
And the reflected consciousness with the mind is?
They are always together, so sahajam.
And the mind with the sakshi is?
Brantijam, no relationship.
Completely right. So this is what we have just heard. The mind and reflected consciousness, sahajam, something like mirror and reflection, they cannot be erased. The mind and body is karmajam. The glue here is the prarabdha karma. So till it lasts, the relationship lasts. There is no relationship between mind and the original consciousness. So any relationship is only delusional, therefore prantijam. Sambandhano sato nasti nivrittaha sahajasya tu. Can the mind exist without Chidabhasa?
The mind exists without the Chidabhasa, no.
That's right. And what happens to the mind and reflected consciousness pair in Shushupti or Pralaya? They have Sahaja.
Dormant state.
That's right. They do exist together, but they're dormant. So borrowed consciousness always exists in the mind. In Shushupti and Pralaya, they both exist in dormant form because Sahajasya Nivritti Nasti. How long does the body-mind relationship last? Is it eternal? Is it till all Sanchita karmas are exhausted, till prarabdha karmas are exhausted, till one attains Jivan Mukti, or till one becomes a Sthita Prajna?
Body-mind relationship lasts as long as the prarabdha karma is there. It is like the fuel that keeps them together. Once the prarabdha karma is over, the subtle body separates, and that is what we define as death in Vedanta.
That's right. Being karmaja, karma kshayat karmaja sambandha nivritti. Next, yeah. So, can Atma Jnana remove this karmaja sambandha?
Can Atma Jnanam? No, because prarabdha karma will continue.
That's right. What is the purpose of Atma Jnanam? Is it removal of Kama, Krodha, Raga, Dvesha? Is it to become a Sthita Prajna? Is it to falsify Prarabdha, to stop experiencing the Dvaita Prapancha, or to get to Brahmaloka through Shuklagati?
Once Atma Jnanam is there, we disidentify from the body. So the body now becomes Mithya or the lower order. So whatever Prarabdha happens to the body is now a falsification. I would choose answer 3.
That's right. That's right. By falsifying Prarabdha, a Jnani no longer suffers Anujvara, although biological pains do remain. How long does the mind-Sakshi bond last? Eternally, up to death, up to Pralayam, there is no bond, or up to Videha Mukti.
These are of 2 different orders of reality because Sakshi is Paramarthika, so there is no bond.
That's right. That's right. There is no corridor that connects Paramarthika to Vyavaharika Satya. Every vritti or thought is always accompanied by Chidabhasa, the reflected consciousness. So this combination of vritti and reflected consciousness is called vritti jnanam, sentient thought, a cognition, experience, none of the above or all of the above.
Every vritti or thought is accompanied by Chidabhasa. So the answer should be all of the above. It looks like all are synonyms to me.
That's right. So Drik Drushya Viveka is the cause of samsara. What is the cause of this aviveka? Is it prarabdha karma? Is it vikshepa shakti of Maya, avarna shakti of Maya, non-availability of guru, or lack of faith in scriptures?
It is because of avarana shakti of Maya.
That's right. So now we have heard something about creation. Please fill in the blanks using the word karana or karyam. Karana means cause, and the cause is always not manifest. It is unmanifest or avyakta. Karyam is effect. It is the manifestation of the cause, so it is always vyakta. So, based on this, please fill in the blanks. Creation is dash dash utpatti.
Right. You have already given us the clue that karyam is manifest and seen, and cause is karanam, which is unmanifest or not seen. So creation is karyam that has come from the karana. So utpatti or creation has come from the karanam.
Karanat karanasya utpatti. From and of. So any substance plus unmanifest nama rupa is?
Wherever there is unmanifest, it is the cause, which is karanam.
That's right. Any substance plus manifest nama rupa is?
Effect is karyam.
So Brahman with vyakta nama rupa maya is called?
Vyakta is manifest. When it is manifest, it is karyam.
And Brahman with avyakta nama rupa is called?
Karanam.
So Ishvara is dash and Jagat is dash.
Ishvara is karanam, Jagat is karyam.
So it is definitely not as complicated as it is, isn't it?
It is quite difficult. I mean, because these sounds, all right. Somehow I got it right. Please continue.
Some more about creation. Creation is manifestation of nama rupa upon a basic substance Brahman. Yes or no?
Yes, according to Vedanta, yes.
God created that basic substance. Yes or no?
According to Vedanta, no, because creation has always been there. Nothing is created, nothing is destroyed.
Yes. The world is Brahman with nama rupa transitioning from avyakta to vyakta form.
True.
All nama rupas are created by Maya.
False, because nothing is created by God or Maya or anybody.
Karyam and Karanam are substantially the same.
True.
Okay.
Do you want to explain?
Yeah, this part I think is evident, but how does Karyam and Karana become the same? I'll try to explain with the next slide, please. So we know that any substance, take the example of clay, in a formless state, unmanifest Nama Rupa is called Karanam. And this same clay, when molded, the same substance, in the manifest form of a pot, the pot becomes the Karyam. So the substance clay is the same. Similarly, by extension, Karyam and Karanam are substantially same if we can clearly tell ourselves that Nama Rupa, manifest or unmanifest, is Mithya. So what are the different names of Maya? Please try to remember a few.
Maya, one is Prakriti, the other is Mula Vidya, Pradhanam, and did I say Avidya?
Yeah. You said Mula.
Shakti.
Yeah.
All right. Please add.
What is the difference between Avidya and Mula Avidya? So the normal avidya that we talk about is confusion about Satya Mithya.
Yeah. Mula Vidya is collective. It is the total.
Yeah.
So, samashti.
Yeah. So it's also called Karana Shariram, Bija Avastha, or causal matter. Avyaktam, Prakriti means capable of evolution. Ajnanam and Pradhanam means it's a repository or a storehouse. Dha means to remain, because that's what it does at the time of Pralayam. It stores all our punya papa baggage. So this has just been explained. All of us are seers 3. That is our swabhava. So we are sakshis. But due to the avarana shakti of Maya, which has a concealing effect, instead of claiming sakshi or seer 3, I erroneously identify with seers 1 and 2. Consequently, next slide please, we suffer samsara. We have already heard this verse. Antaha Drik Drushya Viveka Bahihischa Brahmasargayoho Avrunoti Aparashakti Sa Samsarasya Karanam. Such a loaded verse. So this verse is trying to tell us that Satya Mithya Bhedam exists at 2 levels. What are they, and what is the remedy for this samsara?
All right. Satya Mithya Bheda occurs in 2 levels. One is Antara and the other is Bahya. Antara is within. That means when I see any object, I can see it with my mind, and the mind has got a lot of limitations like likes and dislikes. I like this, I like this. Ahankara, mamakara, this is useful, that is not useful. And so these are the usual problems with the mind whenever I see anything. But when I see this with the vision of AM Atma Brahma, that means I'm seeing the same object from the state of Paramatma, then all this sense of limitations and the consequent samsara is not there. So we have to shift from seeing it from the ahankara to be seeing it from the sakshi, and thereby I do not suffer from samsara, and I don't look for fulfillment from anything in the world which cannot give me any fulfillment anyway. This is Antara Drik Drushya Viveka. When I see the world around me, because of, again, the Avarna Shakti and Vikshepa Shakti, I see the world. I see the world because of the Vikshepa Shakti. And because I do not know my true nature, I see the world as a world. But once I have Brahma Vidya, through Vishwarupa, I see the world as Ishwara. And through Brahma Vidya, I see the same world, Ishwara, as existent, which is always there. That means I see the world as Asti Bhati Priya, and give less importance or transactional importance to Nama Rupa, and therefore I'm not adversely affected by the world.
I think you've said it very comprehensively. There's really nothing more to say. Shall we proceed?
Explain.
Okay. So we have this aviveka at 2 levels, inside and outside. Satya Anrita Veda exists in 2 levels. Antaha, within the body. Instead of being aware of the witness Sakshi in every thought, I instead see through my mind's eye. And this mind's status, whether it is joyful, sorrowful, sick, healthy, is the cause of my interpretation of any thought. If I could see as a sakshi with that sense of purnatvam, everything is done with a sense of fulfillment rather than for fulfillment. That becomes my attitude in life. And Bahihi, externally, I see Sarga, which is a world, which is Anitya, Namarupa, Mithya, as very, very real, forgetting that the Adhishtanam, the Karana Brahman, the Sat, the existence principle, the Vishwa, Rupa, Ishvara in it is the Vastavam aspect. I get attracted to the Nama Rupa and forget the Ishvara in it. Here again, getting caught with the transient, temporary, useless aspect of the world.
Thank you very much, Dr. Anupama, for the phase 1 quiz. We'll continue after the presentations. We have 2 more verses in the second part of Drik Drushya Viveka. Verse 45 will be explained by Shiv Kumar. Shivji, please.
Hari Om, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Till verse 45, we saw that the natural characteristics of Sakshi, existence, consciousness, and bliss, are existence, consciousness, and bliss. These characteristics appear to inhere in the Vyavaharika Jiva on account of its close association with Sakshi, and similarly through it inhere in Pratibhasika Jiva. The previous verse exemplified this, where 3 attributes of water, Madhuryam, Drava, and Shaityam, appear to inhere or exist in both the waves and in the foam or bubbles, of which water is the substratum of the waves, and waves are the substratum of the bubbles. Hence, the attributes of water are borrowed by the wave, and from wave they are borrowed by the bubbles. Similarly, Sakshi temporarily lends consciousness to Vyavaharika Jiva, and Vyavaharika Jiva lends consciousness to Pratibhasika Jiva. In the verse 45, the author says, Laye fenasya tadharma dravadyaha shustyutarangake tasyapi vilaye nire tishtantyete yatha pura. So, next slide. This verse is simple yet carries a profound message. It serves as a culmination of the text's teachings, guiding the seeker towards transcending identification with the body and mind. The author in this verse goes in the reverse order of the example of water, waves, and bubble. Imagine when the bubble bursts or the bubble resolves, what happens to the 3 attributes? The 3 attributes, Madhurya, Drava, Shaitya, are not destroyed. The attributes of the bubble, which were acquired from the wave, quietly slide down to the wave. So instead of saying bubble has Madhurya, Drava, Shaitya, we will say that the wave has got Madhurya, Drava, Shaitya, as the bubble got the attributes from the wave. And suppose the wave also resolves, as it happens when there is no wind and the ocean is calm without any waves. As the waves resolve, these attributes, Madhurya, Drava, Shaitya, quietly come back to the water. Water to which the 3 attributes originally belonged. Bubbles or foam and waves have no existence separate from water. They appear from and disappear in water. They are nothing but water in another form. Similarly, when Swapna Jiva resolves, that is, when Swapna Jiva wakes up, the Satchit Ananda of the Swapna Jiva resolves into the Jagrat Jiva. During Pralayam, all the Jivas resolve, but Satchidananda goes back to the Sakshi, the Paramarthika Jiva. Before the origin of the wave and bubble, water alone was there. When the bubble and wave resolve, water alone remains. The same condition happens after the layam of Swapna Jiva and Jagrat Jiva. The original Sakshi alone remains. When one stops identifying with the mind and body, pure awareness shines forth, leading to liberation. Importantly, how do I stop identifying with the mind and body? One, by observing my thoughts. Next slide, sir. Sorry. By observing my thoughts without attachment, recognizing that I am the awareness behind them. Two, when emotions arise, I remind myself that I am only a witness and not the experiencer. Three, in such circumstances, I should ask who is the one experiencing this and trace back to the unchanging witness. Hari Om, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shri Krishna.
Thank you, Shiv, for a very nice explanation of this verse. I cannot improve on it. We'll listen to Induji, our last speaker. Induji, please.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. We have seen so far that Drik Drushya Viveka is an inquiry into the nature of the seer and the seen. This is an introductory text to Vedanta, which highlights on Jiva Vichara. Jiva, the bondage, liberation, and sadhana are discussed. Drik, the observer, means Paramarthika Jiva. Drishya, observed, means Pratibhasika Jiva and Vyavaharika Jiva. The central theme of the Drik Drushya Viveka is that Brahman is realized through mystic or yogic samadhi, concentration. After this state is obtained, one can see Brahman wherever one turns one's eyes. Dehabhimane galite vignate paramatmani yatra yatra mano yati tatra tatra samadhaya. With the disappearance of the attachment to the body and with the realization of the Supreme Self, to whatever object the mind is directed, one experiences samadhi. In the next slide, we have the last shloka number 46 of Drik Drushya Viveka, which goes like this. Pratibhasika Jivasya Laye Vyavaharike Tallaye Satchidanandah Paryavasyanti Sakshini. Pratibhasika Jivasya Laye. With the disappearance of the Pratibhasika Jiva, that is Satchidanandaha, the characteristics of existence, consciousness, and bliss, Vyavaharike, in the Vyavaharika Jiva, Syuhu, exist, Tallaye, with the disappearance of that Satchidanandaha, characteristics of existence, consciousness, and bliss, Sakshini, in Sakshin, Paryavasyanti, it merges. With the disappearance of the Pratibhasika, that is in the Vyavaharika Jiva, existence, consciousness, and bliss, which are its characteristics, merge in the Vyavaharika Jiva. When that also disappears in Sakshin, these characteristics finally merge in Sakshin. In the next slide, we see Tallaye, which means Vyavaharika Jivasya Laye, when the Vyavaharika Jiva is also dissolved. And this dissolution takes place on 3 occasions. One occasion is deep sleep state. We experience the Paramarthika Jiva because during sleep, Pratibhasika Jiva, Swapna is not there. Vyavaharika Jiva, Jagrat is not there during sleep. All of us are Paramarthika Jivaha, and the proof for that is Ananda. During sleep, We do not have samsara. Sushupti is one occasion when both the jivas are resolved. Then second occasion is pralayam or maranam, death or total dissolution, when the Vyavaharika Jiva dissolves, whereas in the third occasion, Videha Mukti, Vyavaharika Jiva is permanently dissolved and remains as Sakshi Chaitanyam, one with Brahman. In the next slide, we see Tallaye, when Vyavaharika Jiva is also dissolved. At the time of Videha Mukti, Satchidanandaha Paryavasyanti. These three ultimately are resolved and go back to Sakshini. Sakshini, the Paramarthika Jiva, I, the original consciousness, and when the Sakshi resolves, it does not and cannot resolve. Therefore, I, the Sakshi, am always there. In me alone, the waves of creation arise, and in me alone, the bubbles and glaciers arise, the galaxies arise. The waves and bubbles in the form of galaxies and planets, all the lokas, Akilanda Koti Brahmananda, they all rise in me, the water, the Paramarthika Jiva. Mai eva sakalam jatam, mai sarvam layam yati. My nature is aham sat chit anandam Brahma asmi. Let waves and bubbles come and go. Why do you claim I am a wave or bubble? Claim I am water. This is Drik Drushya Viveka. Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Induji, for a nice conclusion, bringing in Mayeva Sakalam Jatam. That means when I see myself as Paramarthika, then the Vyavahara and the Pratibhasika resolve into Mithya, and I stay in this state of I am Atma, Brahma, and this is Drik Drushya Viveka. With this, we have come to the conclusion of the extended or the longer form of Drik Drushya Viveka. Extremely grateful for our acharyas for this opportunity to be able to understand this text. We will conclude with another set of quiz questions. We'll continue from where we began. And the purpose of this quiz is the Mananam part. Mananam is the teaching is over, but let us reflect in our mind and to be able to clarify our doubts. Dr. Anupama, please.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. So here we have switched over from the three seers to the three jivas. What does the word jivatvam mean? Is it identifying with samsara of body-mind complex? Does it mean ajnana? Does it mean human birth? Does it mean privileges of being a human being or victim of vikshepa shakti of Maya?
Whenever we use the word jiva, it always brings in limitations. The only exception is the Paramarthika Jiva. Normally, when we say the word Jiva, it means identifying with the samsara of the body-mind complex.
Yes. The definition of Jivatvam is Vyavaharika Jivasya or Deha Sahita Lingasya. Linga means Sukshma Shariram. Samsara is Jivatvam. We could solve the problem of samsara by removing the avarana shakti of Maya, by Shravana Manana Nidithyasanam, by detaching from body-mind complex, knowing with conviction Chidananda, Rupaha, Shivoham, or all of the above.
All look good to me. Removing avarana shakti, Shravana Mananam, detaching from body-mind complex, knowing with conviction. It looks all like all of the above.
That's right. Next, please. Okay. Avritau tu vinishtaya vede bhate payati tad. Avritau tu vinashtayam. What happens when avarana shakti or ignorance is gone? Is the mind destroyed? Does the body disintegrate? Do I cease to identify with the body-mind complex? Or Am I convinced that I am seer to the mind, or is it none of the above?
When ignorance of my true nature is gone, I cease to identify with my body-mind complex as myself. I see myself as Atma and see my body-mind complex only as an instrument. I would take answer number 3.
That's right. So I remain as Sakshi of the body-mind complex rather than as the body-mind complex. So as seer 3. How does this avarana go? By Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. So bhede bhate payati tat. By realizing the difference between Sakshi and body-mind complex, the borrowed samsara, means samsara that never really existed, goes. How does this samsara actually go? Does it go by doing pilgrimage, by seeking the help of astrology, nadi, vastu shastra, etc., by doing prayashchita karma, by performance of tapas, or realizing the problem belongs to the body-mind complex and not me, the Sakshi?
You answered it in your question by realizing the problem belongs to body-mind complex and not to me, the Sakshi.
That's right. What is a person who has removed Avarana Shakti but still enjoys Vikshepa Shakti called? Is he a sannyasi, a parivrajaka, a videha mukta, a jivan mukta, all of the above or none of the above?
When the Avarana Shakti is gone, I know my true nature. I see the Vikshepa Shakti and I enjoy it. That state is called the Jivan Mukta state.
That's right. So Vikshepa continues, still Prarabdha exists, but yet he knows it is not real, it's Mithya. What is Nididhyasanam? Is it internalization of Shravanam, alert living, bridging the dichotomy between my rational and emotional mind, Jnanam-induced transformation of my personality, replacing the word Brahman by the word Aham, or all of the above?
All the above look right for me.
That's right. What does the word Samadhi Abhyasa Rupa Nididhyasanam mean? Is it a total withdrawal from Vyavaharika activities, a total disidentification from the Ahankara roles, mother, father, teacher, etc.? Is it right place, time, posture, asana, withdrawal of all sense organs? Is it an exclusive devotion of some time for contemplating upon scriptures or approaching a guru to clear doubts?
The Samadhi Abhyasa Nididhyasana means devoting exclusive time for contemplating on what you have understood from the scriptures.
That's right. So what is the primary component of Nididhyasanam? Is it a perfect physical posture? Is it Samadhi Abhyasa, objectification of Brahman, clearing the mind of all thoughts, absorption in AHAM Brahma Asmi thoughts, or none of the above?
Absorption in AHAM Brahma Asmi thoughts.
That's right. Mahavakya Vichara, basically. Nididhyasanam will lead me to moksha, jnanam, nischaya jnanam, aparoksha jnanam, krama mukti, sorry about the spelling, puts me in the corridor that connects bondage to freedom.
Nididhyasanam will not lead me to moksha because moksha is not something to be attained. It is it's not a sadhyam, it is a siddha vastu. Nididhyasanam will not lead me to jnanam because jnanam comes through shravanam. Nischaya jnanam comes through mananam. The most right answer should be aparoksha jnanam. Krama mukti, no, puts me on the corridor. There is no corridor that connects bondage and freedom. There is no corridor that connects these two.
That's right. Be connected. So it is aparoksha jnanam. That's right. So whether antara or bahya, drishya or shabda, anuvidya, savikalpa, samadhi, we have to focus on which of these? The asti bhati aspect of thought or object. We have to fix our attention on just one thought or object, focus on all the attributes of Ishvara, clear all thoughts out of our mind, and for a fixed period of time, remain in the proper posture for meditation.
The answer looks A, but let me think once again. Whether antara, that means within or bahya, whether I'm meditating on the objects that in my mind or the Vedantic words, in Savikalpa Samadhi, that means when I'm putting an effort, we have to focus on Astibhati aspect of the thought or object.
That's right. That's right. Next one, please. Can I continue?
Please continue.
In Nirvikalpaka Samadhi, it is a state of absorption in which sthula Vedantic thoughts seep into the subconscious mind as a continuous stream of sukshma thoughts. This is very similar to water seeping through a leaking roof. Is this a natural phenomena? And is this phenomena unique only to Vedantic thoughts?
Nirvikalpa Samadhi, a state of absorption in which sthula, that means gross thoughts, seep into the subconscious mind. Now, this is a natural phenomenon. For example, if a person wants to generate wealth, he wants to make money, wherever he is in whatever circumstances, his thoughts are only on how I can make a business out of it. And it is possible that these gross thoughts can seep into the subconscious mind.
That's right. Now, what about it is not specific to Vedantic thoughts? That's right. So it is a natural phenomena. Through repetition and emotional reinforcement, thoughts, Vedantic or Laukik, can be absorbed by the subconscious mind, and they subsequently become our vasana. It becomes our habitual way of thinking and behaving. So please say whether these sentences are true or false. All 6 samadhis should be practiced until one attains a nishtha or sahaja samadhi.
Absolutely true.
Yes, that's why it is nirantara. Once a nishtha, nididhyasanam is not mandatory.
Not required. Once a person is a nishtha, nididhyasanam is not mandatory.
That's right. Nirvikalpa samadhi is mandatory for moksha.
Not at all. In fact, many people do not attain to nirvikalpaka samadhi at all.
Jnanam arises in samadhi.
It's false because jnanam arises through shravanam.
Pratyaksha pramana is the means of Atma jnanam.
False.
Which one? Which is the pramana? Shabda.
Atma jnanam. Okay. Shabda pramana, Vedanta vakya, Mahavakya.
Among the 3 sadhanas, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, Nididhyasana is the primary one.
False, because it is Shravanam is the primary sadhana. It is through Shravanam itself that we get jnanam.
Without adequate Shravanam, Nididhyasanam only gives Chitta Ekagrata.
Very true.
That's right.
Proceed.
Yes. Yeah. So we know that our body-mind complex is limited, whereas Brahman is unlimited. So do we have to die to become the limitless Brahman?
Not at all. We need to get spiritual knowledge or jnanam, and it should become a nishtha.
We should just know that we are not the body-mind complex. So as Atma Nishtha, I have Anatma Abhimana Tyaga. Once I get to know I am the Sakshi, the rest of it just drops off effortlessly. So as I claim Paramatma, Deha Abhimana Galitam is a natural consequence.
Very beautiful verse to remember. Deha Abhimane Galite Paramatmani Yatra Yatra Manoyati Tatra Tatra Samadhaya.
So Deha Abhimana Galitam does not spare me from the Shadvikaras or Shad-urmis. Why is this so?
Because even a jnani has to go through prarabdha karma. So prarabdha karma continues to be there.
That's right. So Deha Abhimana is primarily of 2 types. The Samanya Abhimana, which is the result of prarabdha, which we cannot erase with knowledge. So I experience the Shad Vikaras, all the biological experiences, good and bad. Whereas the Vishesha Abhimana, which is an intellectual conclusion born out of ignorance, the ignorance being identifying with the body-mind complex, also called Ajnana Janya Abhimana or Anujvara. Vedanta destroys this aspect.
Can you clarify this with an example?
Oh, yes. For example, the common example we have is if we fall sick, we are not only worried about the pain of the ailment, we're also extending our suffering to the possible incapacitation or the or the finances involved, or how society would accept me in a less abled way. That is anujvara, not related to the disease. And very often it may not even be true, the extended suffering.
In that way, a jnani can be compared to a child. Like a child goes through pain and the child will cry. A jnani goes through pain and a jnani may cry in pain. But a child is not worried about, what is the consequences to my family? What is going to happen to my future? These things don't worry a jnani because he does not give much significance to his body.
So a person for whom every perception is a samadhi is called an atmanishta, jnananishta, a sthira prajna, brahmi sthitihi, none of the above or all of the above.
Atmanishta, jnananishta, it looks all of the above.
That's right. I, the Sakshi, am limitless Brahman. How do we know this? Do we know this by Nirvikalpaka Samadhi, by close association with Jnanis, by becoming a sadhana chatushtaya sampanna, by Mahavakya Vichara, or by adequate mastery of mind and sense organs?
By Mahavakya Vichara.
There's no other way. Tattvam is asiti ityadi vakyam jaguhu. Jaguhu means that is the one that reflects. So, tasmin drishte paravare. What does tasmin mean?
That Paramatma Brahman.
Drishte means?
Drishti means, when you identify, aparokshataya, there is no distinction between me and Brahman.
Drishti is not seeing through the physical eye, but you understand, you comprehend intuitively. Paravare means?
Paravare means one meaning is beyond cause and effect. Paravare also means to understand I am both immanent and transcendent.
That's right. Are Karanam and Karyam the same?
Substantially the same.
That's right. And what are the benefits of this Tasmin Drishte?
The Hridaya Granthi is broken. Avidya, Kama, Karma, Punarjanma, gone.
That's right. That's right.
Please clarify again. This is so important.
It means that Brahman, and Drishte means that Brahman has now become understood as me, the Brahman, aparokshataya, as myself, no longer that. Paravare means Karya Karana Brahman, also, as you explained, transcendental and immanent. Are Karanam and Karyam the same? As already explained, if we know that Nama Rupa is Mithya, the only thing existent is a substance which could be either Karanam or Karyam. Substantially the same. And the benefits of Tasmin Drishte is Hridaya Granthi Vidyate, Ajnana Nasha, all the desires go, Sarva Samshaya Chidhyante, no doubts remain, Karmani Kshiyante, no karmas remain, Sanchita destroyed, Agami avoided, Prarabdha falsified. This is the state of being a Jivan Mukti, and after death, Videha Mukti. So, avachinna chidabhasa tritiya swapna kalpitaha vignyaya trividho jivaha tatradhaya paramarthikaha. So, this is about the three jivas enclosed within us. When I say aham in Aham Brahma Asmi, which of the three jivas do I refer to?
When I say aham and aham brahmasmi, it refers to the Paramarthika Jiva only.
That's right, Jiva 1. So the Paramarthika, so it depends, see, it, oh.
Go ahead.
It
Go ahead.
could also be contextual. So if I am referring to what I am thinking, I could be referring to my Vyavaharika Jiva. If I say, I think that this is true and this is not true, at that moment of time, I am referring to my Vyavaharika Jiva. If I am in dream, I am referring to my Pratibhasika. But as a realized person, a jnani, most of the time he's referring to Paramarthika Jiva, the Sakshi. So the message of Vedanta: claim the Paramarthika Jiva, put on the Vesha of Vyavaharika Jiva. There is no need to remove the Vesham. Just remember, Vesham is Vesham and it will not cause samsara. This is being a Jivan Mukti and life becomes a Leela. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Anupama.
Thank you, Hegde sir, and speakers of the day, Shiv Kumar ji and Indumati ji, for a wonderful session. Thank you, Anupama madam, for an interesting teaching quiz. Thank you all friends for your focused participation. That brings us to the end of study of this wonderful Prakarana Grantha called Drik Drushya Viveka. Next week, we are going to commence another great text, Panchadashi, Chapter 1. Coming Monday on 4th August 25, let's tune in for 4th session of Mananam series at 6:45 p.m. to listen to Dr. Hegde sir, who will take up verses 1 to 7 of Chapter 1, Valli 2 of Kathopanishad. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Thank you. Thank you all.